Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for Congresswoman Fallin. I understand that your new husband is a lawyer, and I heard on the radio that your daughter is a lobbyist at the state.
Yes.
Is that not going to be a conflict of interest for you as you try to govern the state of Oklahoma?
My lawyer husband?
Well, your
Or my
husband
daughter.
being a lawyer and your daughter being a lobbyist.
Well, let me tell you, my husband is a wonderful man. He grew up on a farm in Thomas, Oklahoma. They farm, they ranch. He's an attorney right now. And he's actually a defense attorney, a business defense attorney, which is great because he's on our side of the issues. Great Christian man. I've known him since church, went to school with him at Oklahoma State University, so I feel very blessed to meet a great guy. My daughter, I'm very proud of. She is 22 years old. She has taken a job here in Oklahoma City, working at the state capitol. She's taken an interest in public service, which I'm thrilled to death because we need more of our young folks to take an interest in government and to participate in issues in our society. Now, my daughter is working here in Oklahoma on state issues. I'm in the federal government.
I'm not mentioning as a congresswoman, I'm mentioning as governor.
Okay,
Would
but
it not be a conflict
I just want to
of
make
interest?
sure that we're clear and
Yeah.
not mix apples with oranges because other people may not know.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I told people that if she's still, and by the way lobbyists work, lobbyists call on this guy right here. In fact, she may have talked to you. I don't know. She calls on legislators with her boss, and they meet with House and Senate members, and they talk about various issues and various people that they represent. And then the legislators decide if they're going to pass legislation. Passes the House, passes the Senate, and then it's sent to a governor. And so anything that she might work on would have to pass by the Senate, would have to pass by the Senate, or by the House before it ever get to me. Now, I have said publicly that if she's still doing that, and if I get elected governor, and if she has some client that the House and Senate has passed something on that makes it to my desk, it has to make it to them and then to my desk, then if it's someone she represents, then I will meet with her or her partner on that particular issue, and I think that's fair. A great question. I appreciate you asking that.
Okay, Bill?
I have a question for the three of you. So it don't matter to me which one answers first or last. It's been reported that the state of Oklahoma has been losing a lot of businesses, in other words, packing up and moving south. Now, as the governor or as the general, how are you going to stop this bleeding in the state of Oklahoma?
It's really time the politicians stop trying to fake you out that politicians can create jobs. They can't. If they could, they would have been in the business sector with me for the last 30 years, creating jobs and contributing to the economy. Here's what needs to be done. We must change our tax structure. And I have a very simple philosophy. You tax less what you want more of.
Right.
You want more jobs? Stop taxing jobs when they come into this state. Do you realize that 36,000 jobs have fled the state of Oklahoma in the last 18 months?
Yep.
Yet 8,600 government jobs have been created. It is upside down in this state. And it goes back to your question. It is about leadership. We have had a vacuum and a void of leadership in this state for a long, long time. If we are going to change the direction of this state, the status quo has got to be challenged at every turn. We can't continue to do the same things. And here is our economic development program in the state of Oklahoma. This has been in place for 3 decades. It's called tax credits. And my opponents support them. I don't. There's not been one tax credit that I voted for in the last 7 years serving in the Senate. Folks, let me tell you real quickly what a tax credit is. It is corporate welfare, it is legal plunder, and it is immoral. And that is the policies that we have in place. We've got to allow the creativity and the ingenuity of the individual to create jobs in the free market. Not more government bailouts, handouts, subsidies, and earmark spending. It is financially bankrupting our nation and now our state. And I will oppose those policies as governor, just like I have done, and I will bring free market principles to this state.
Oh, absolutely. You got 5 minutes. I want my 5 minutes now. Absolutely. Well, as I was telling earlier, I have spent 20 years in public service to the state of Oklahoma, and I have worked extremely hard on business development and job creation. And we are living in some tough times, and believe me, I have had 4 years, just a short time, in Washington, and I know that government doesn't create jobs. The private sector creates jobs. But there are those in Washington that believe that big government spending creates jobs. Thank goodness we live in a state where we do have a lot of good common sense. Now, one of the things I talked about a minute ago, and I am very proud of this, is I will be the best business recruiter in chief because it does evolve leadership, and it takes leadership. And one of the things I've been hearing as I've traveled across the state with Governor Henry is that he's a nice guy, but when people needed him to help with business development, he wasn't there. He wasn't there to lead the charge on workers' comp reform or tort reform or education reform. He hasn't been there. And I have already led those battles on workers' comp reform and right to work and purchasing reform, the things that will make us a more pro-business atmosphere. And when we keep our taxes low, when we keep our rules and regulations fair, when we have a governor that's out there actually recruiting business and trying to do what we can to create the best business atmosphere, we're going to create those jobs. I know, because I've been working with companies for many, many years to bring them here into Oklahoma. And so that's why I think this time is very critical, especially during this national recession, Oklahoma's recession, that we have someone that's going to focus like a laser beam on creating the best business environment possible for the state of Oklahoma. And so that's what I'm going to do.